This is where it gets crazy, ladies and gentlemen. Director of Black Voices for Trump is held in jail without bond. Harrison Floyd becomes the first MAGA ally to be booked behind bars in the Georgia election fraud case. No bond. They're starting light. I think they're not locking everybody up because they're slow rolling it. They know they can't shock the system. But this story's crazy. Look at this. He says, apparently FBI went to his house to serve him and he said, "Who the F do you think you are?" Floyd allegedly screamed. The affidavit says, describing that Floyd was standing chest to chest with the agent after knocking him backward with his body. In Georgia, Floyd is accused, alongside Stephen Cliffgard Lee, a police chaplain, and Trevian Cootie, Kanye West's former publicist, of pressuring poll worker Ruby Freeman into falsely saying she committed election fraud. Freeman and her daughter, Shay Moss, who gave tearful testimony to the House Select Committee on January 6, were subjects of a conspiracy theory echoed by Trump and his allies. This is the crazy thing. Did these people genuinely believe she committed fraud? And they were going to her being like, "What did you do? We saw videos." Mm-hmm. Is that a criminal act? And now I don't trust the government. Apparently they're saying that he assaulted an FBI agent. He was charged with attacking an FBI agent. Well, I strongly recommend you don't do that. Who was working with special counsel Jack Smith's parallel probe in 2020, election interference by Trump and his allies. The Washington Post reported Wednesday. An affidavit says Floyd body slammed an agent who arrived at his Rockville, Maryland home to subpoena him before a federal grand jury in Washington, D.C. So my question is, what is he being charged with in Georgia, right? Mm-hmm. Held without bond in Georgia. He was charged with racketeering, conspiracy to solicit false statements, and influencing witnesses. So the FBI thinks a totally different case. He's being charged very similar to many of these other defendants, and they're not letting him out. Things are getting crazy, ladies and gentlemen. The Krasensteins, you got to love them. They have no limit. They will feign reasonableness. And then they're like, "I agree with the charges against Trump's lawyers for the simple fact they provided him legal counsel." And it's just like, I'm like, dude, you guys have to have a limit, right? Like, they're going to start rounding people up onto trains, and the Krasensteins are going to be like, "Well, now hold on. We don't know exactly why they're rounding people up. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt." Dude, they are Jenna Ellis is being criminally charged under RICO for simply being Trump's lawyer. That's it. She didn't do anything else. That's it. Part of a conspiracy. Insane.
Think about it. It works, though, because now everybody's going to be afraid to represent Trump or any Republican figure or anybody else. So it's effective.
Which goes back to my point that I was making before. I really think this is about intimidation. I said this, a couple nights ago, too. The establishment, when I say the establishment, I mean the bureaucracy that's in DC and likely the Democrat Party and their allies in the media. They don't want people to defend Trump. They want people to be afraid to associate with Trump.
The Trump statement is up. Let's play the video. It's only 1 minute long. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. They did very well to have him just walk up slowly.
It's a very sad day for America. This should never happen. If you challenge an election, you should be able to challenge an election. I thought the election was a rigged election, a stolen election, and I should have every right to do that. As you know, you have many people that you've been watching over the years do the same thing, whether it's Hillary Clinton or Stacey Abrams or many others. When you have that great freedom to challenge, you have to be able to, otherwise you can have very dishonest elections. What has taken place here is a travesty of justice. We did nothing wrong. I did nothing wrong. And everybody knows it. I've never had such support. And that goes with the other ones, too. What they're doing is election interference. They're trying to interfere with an election. There's never been anything like it in our country before. This is their way of campaigning. And this is one instance, but you have three other instances. It's election interference.
Yeah,
I agree. And my question is this. If the Democrats are campaigning, as Trump said, off of this, and they are, this Fulton DA launched a fundraiser, then Republicans will have no choice but to campaign on the exact same issue in the other direction. Mm-hmm. And if the Democrats are saying, vote for us and we will imprison anyone you hate, and the Trump supporters are saying, we will get revenge and go after those who are weaponizing the legal system, where does this end?
It doesn't. It's like South Korea, from what I understand. The last several leaders have all been in prison. So it's like, as soon as the next party gets in, the last party guy gets locked up.
Yeah.
And it
sounds like Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it ends with just getting locked up. The Democrats are saying, we will crush you.
Yeah.
The Republicans mostly sitting on their hands. But if a tit for tat does arise, if Trump gets reelected, the revenge will not just be on the deep state for everything they did during his first term. It's going to be on everyone right now for everything they're doing.
Yeah, I feel like Kemp's going to have a really hard time when Trump gets elected.
He'll be federally indicted.
How could he not be?
If Trump gets, here's my prediction. If Trump gets reelected, election fraud charges across the board and tons of governors face, maybe not tons, maybe a handful. We're probably going to see a bunch of Democrat officials. I imagine they'll be charged. If Trump wins, I cannot imagine a man so obsessed with 2020 does not remain obsessed with 2020. And then, as we've already seen, you can indict a ham sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
So the people who are like, there's no evidence Trump wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, that's not an issue. If Trump gets in and he gets an AG that is totally on board, you're going to see whatever they need pop up and there will be charges.
And I have to assume that this makes Trump even more appealing to people who are genuinely critical of the criminal justice system, right? Like people who feel like it's corrupted already for non-political reasons are looking at what's happening to Trump and saying, oh yeah, so he's experiencing it too. None of us are safe. He is, in some ways, becoming more of a candidate for people I would assume would typically vote for the Democratic Party because they're always saying, we'll fix this and Republicans are trying to lock you up. Yeah, exactly.
I do not share your optimism about new Trump voters. But that being said, one of the things that I noticed that I really liked that he said, I believed it was a rigged election. And it was that kind of verbiage, articulating it properly, really, 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 really matters because they are going to have to try to convince the jury that he believed that he lost. Correct. And that he believed that it was a fair loss and he knew he was violating the law. They have to prove to a jury that what he believed. They have to prove what was in his head. And the only person that can screw that up is Donald Trump.
Yeah, his lawyers were like, oh my goodness, thank goodness he said it the right way.
Yeah.
There's no ad lib here.
Because he's already got, it's already loaded against him. He's got a bunch of things stacked against him when it comes to people prosecuting him and stuff. And if he's not minding his P's and Q's, he can put himself into a significant problem.
Well, I hope that when Trump wins re-election, assuming he does, as he begins instructing the AG to go after people, we get a really cool montage with like Staying Alive by the Bee Gees and having sunglasses, putting them on. And then there's like a montage of like indicted. Trump should have indicted people in his first term. Trump should have launched investigations. When they were investigating him for Russiagate, he should have immediately said, we are going to investigate the lies. Trump should have countered immediately. And I'm not ragging on him for not knowing the future. I'm saying hindsight is 2020. Trump could have said, my fellow Americans, currently, there are political partisans that are accusing the highest office in this country of being subservient to Vladimir Putin and the Russians. This is sedition. This is a lie. The American people have spoken. So we will be bolstering the investigation into these claims, but making sure it is holistic and covers all ground. And we figure out who is pushing the narrative and why. He could have said, yeah, I'm on board. Here's my guy joining in, and then gone after Democrats for the Steele dossier, for instance. Why did it take so long for us to figure out that Hillary Clinton was the one backing that stuff?
Well, he needed people to tell him to do that because keep in mind, he was not a politician.
If Tucker Carlson had just said it one time, Tucker, then Trump would have been like, I was watching Tucker. He says I should investigate. I'll do it. And then he would have done it. And we wouldn't be here right now.
Come on, Tucker. What are you doing? No, I mean, I think there are a lot of things that I wish Trump had done while he was in office, and obviously we can't go back. My concern would be that he doesn't do something going forward. So if he's reelected, I would like to see some kind of action. I mean, you were saying before the show that Jim Jordan's investigation on Fani Willis, you felt like maybe he should have called it earlier.
Oh, yeah. Hello. What time is it? I mean, how long ago was he charged? Is Congress that slow? You can't put it together. You can't say, hey, you know what, Fanny? How about you come up here Thursday? How about Thursday the 24th? Come on in front of Congress. That would have been beautiful. So while Trump is getting arrested, Fanny could be testifying in front of Congress and enjoying her day in another location.
Yeah.
Yep.
New thought.
Because I assume she's down there hanging out with all her friends being like, our work is accomplished. Good job, everybody.
And she should be sweating bullets, but they're doing nothing. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.